thousands of people turned a section of Hong Kong pink for one evening. Subway stations were wrapped in advertising. Giant screens in Tsim Sha Tsui and Mong Kok ran the same campaign on a loop. And somewhere inside that entire production, the detail fans kept repeating to each other wasn't the stage, the lighting, or the brand's message. It was 5 words, passed through a staff member, asking the crowd to drink more water. Welcome to Rabbit News Hallyu, where we look past the surface of an event to find what actually explains it. On the evening of August 19th, which happened to fall on Qixi Festival, China's traditional day associated with romantic devotion, Xiao Zhan appeared at K11 Museum in Tsim Sha Tsui as the global brand ambassador for YSL Skincare. It was his first public appearance since wrapping production on his new drama, 10 Days. That timing alone would normally be the headline. But the way this particular event unfolded suggests there's a more interesting story sitting underneath the marketing campaign itself. Here's what actually happened, stripped of hype. The brand built 2 connected stages, one inside the K11 lobby, one outdoors along the Avenue of Stars. A guided route linked the 2 locations, and Xiao Zhan moved between both spaces during the appearance. Fans had reportedly begun gathering that morning, well before the event's evening start time, and staff implemented crowd management that separated attendees by clothing color, with red, a color associated with fan support, permitted closer to the venue. Scale like that doesn't happen by accident. Coordinating 2 stages, a routed walking path between them, and crowd separation by clothing color requires advanced planning measured in days, not hours. Venue staff reportedly had the stage structure in place the night before. For an ambassador appearance built around a single artist, that level of logistics signals a brand treating this less as a meet and greet and more as a flagship event, one meant to generate its own news cycle independent of whatever product it's technically promoting. That's the scale. Now here's the detail that doesn't fit the scale. At some point during the event, Xiao Zhan asked a staff member to pass along a message to the fans gathered outside, drink more water. Not a scripted brand line. Not tied to any campaign messaging. Just a practical, slightly mundane instruction, the kind you'd give a friend standing in the heat for hours, not the kind a global ambassador typically delivers through a PR team at a luxury skincare activation. Fans read it as a gesture of reciprocal care, and based on what's documented, that reading holds up reasonably well. It wasn't amplified by the brand. It wasn't part of any official messaging. It surfaced because people in the crowd noticed it and talked about it afterward. Which raises a genuinely useful question for anyone trying to understand how celebrity brand ambassadorships actually function. What's the difference between an appearance that feels like a transaction and one that feels like a relationship? To answer that, it helps to understand just how large this particular transaction was. YSL's campaign around this event extended across Hong Kong. Advertising for the brand's hand cream line appeared at Causeway Bay and East Tsim Sha Tsui MTR stations, inside K11 itself, and on major outdoor screens throughout Tsim Sha Tsui and Mong Kok. Fans nicknamed the city Tiu Zin Pain City, a reference to the sheer visual saturation of the campaign, and reportedly it also marked the first time YSL products sourced through Hong Kong appeared in the brand's Hong Kong beauty lineup since the label came under mainland Chinese ownership. In other words, this wasn't a modest storefront appearance. It was a full city-scale activation, the kind of campaign built by a marketing department with a significant budget and a clear commercial objective: convert an artist's fan base into brand engagement, at volume, across as many touchpoints as possible. The detail about sourcing also deserves a moment of separate attention, because it's easy to skim past. If this was genuinely the first time Hong Kong-sourced YSL products entered the brand's Hong Kong beauty catalogue since the label came under mainland Chinese corporate ownership, that's not purely a marketing footnote. It touches on supply chain and market positioning decisions that sit well above any single ambassador appearance. That's a level 4 claim about corporate strategy, though, and one event doesn't confirm how the broader restructuring is unfolding. It only tells us that this particular product line milestone was folded into this particular public event, presumably because the brand wanted the visibility of an ambassador appearance to carry commercial weight beyond a single afternoon. That's the environment the drink more water comment landed in. And that contrast is exactly why it stood out. When a brand spends this much to manufacture scale, the personal and the spontaneous tend to get filtered out entirely. Everything is scripted, timed, and approved. A stray, unscripted human moment inside a production this large isn't something you can manufacture convincingly even if you wanted to. Audiences are generally good at spotting when warmth is performed. Which is part of why this particular detail traveled the way it did among fans discussing the event afterward. There's a second piece of context worth placing next to this. 2 days before the event, on August 17, Xiao Zhan was reportedly spotted in Hong Kong's Central District, shopping with his parents. According to accounts shared by people who said they encountered him, he wasn't wearing makeup, had no mask or hat, and was carrying a large brown Todd's bag. No photos or video circulated, the sighting exists only as second-hand description, but it trended regardless, and fans largely responded by asking others to respect his private time rather than pursue further details. Take those two moments together, an unguarded, undocumented outing with family, and a small unscripted request buried inside a massive commercial rollout, and a pattern starts to look less like coincidence and more like consistency. Neither moment was designed for public consumption. One happened without any performance at all. The other happened inside a performance but didn't belong to it. It's worth being precise about what this does and doesn't establish. It doesn't confirm anything about Xiao Zhan's private character beyond what's directly observable in these two documented moments. That's a narrower and more defensible claim than saying it reveals who he really is. What it does support is a comparison between two very different contexts producing a similar surface impression, low-key, unbothered, consistent in tone whether or not cameras or fans were present. That consistency is the observable pattern. The interpretation of what it means is where readers should exercise their own judgment. This is where the story moves beyond a single artist and becomes more useful as an industry observation. Brand ambassadorships in the C-ent space increasingly rely on scale, citywide takeovers, coordinated hashtags, synchronized screen advertising, all designed to maximize visibility and translate fan enthusiasm into measurable engagement. That model works. It's also, by design, impersonal. It's built for reach, not intimacy. The tension brands face is that the same fan base being targeted at scale is also the audience most attuned to detecting when a gesture is real versus manufactured. One reasonable reading of this event is that its most effective marketing beat wasn't anything YSL scripted. It was the one moment that clearly wasn't scripted at all. That doesn't mean the entire campaign was secondary. The visual saturation across the city undeniably drove attention and conversation, and a citywide takeover generates its own kind of coverage regardless of whether any single unscripted moment occurs. But conversation about scale tends to fade quickly once the screens change. Conversation about a small, specific human gesture tends to have a longer half-life, because it gives people something to reference beyond the ads were everywhere. This also says something about how international audiences engage with C-ent coverage specifically. Viewers following Xiao Zhan's career from outside mainland China or Hong Kong are unlikely to have stood in that crowd, and most will never see footage of the drink more water moment, since by its nature it wasn't captured on stage or officially documented. What travels internationally is the retelling, fans describing what happened, translating it, contextualizing it for audiences unfamiliar with the local event. That's a different kind of media diffusion than a viral clip, and it depends entirely on the underlying moment being considered worth retelling in the first place. None of this establishes an industry-wide formula, and it shouldn't be read that way. This is one event, with one campaign, in one market. But it does illustrate a dynamic worth watching as more C-ent stars take on high-visibility ambassador roles. The appearances that get remembered aren't necessarily the largest ones. They're the ones that leave room for something the brand didn't write. So the pink screens will come down. The subway posters will eventually get replaced by the next campaign. What's likely to stay in circulation longer is a 5-word message that cost the brand nothing and wasn't part of the plan at all, which might be the most accurate summary of what actually made this appearance land the way it did. If you're the kind of viewer who wants the story behind the story, the detail everyone saw but almost nobody actually looked at, that's exactly what Rabbit News Hallyu is built for. Subscribe if you'd rather get analysis than just another recap.